Everybody got their mics on? Hi, Mike. Annette, here she goes. Who are we missing? Oh. She wrote it, which will be in the bathroom. Your turn. There she is. Grab a chair. Turn your phone on. The mic on.
Yep. Hey, Paula. We can't hear you.
There we go, unmuted. How you guys doing?
Good evening. Okay, let's call this meeting to order. We have a roll call.
Ed,
Present.
Fred.
Yep.
Paul. Kelly.
Yep.
Tracy.
Yep.
Marlene.
Yep.
Danette.
Yes.
Colleen.
Yes.
Paula on Zoom.
Yes,
Okay, let's stand and do the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, any citizen comments? Approval of the meeting minutes from June 14th, 2023. Is there any comments, adjustments, anything else? No, do we have somebody who will give us a first to approve them?
So, second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence. I have two cards here. Marlene and the town of Lisbon, thank you for the good items, 82, and money of $22 from the Easter egg extravaganza. That in the town of Lisbon for the children. The food was donated to families in the Merton community, and money brought more food to go with the original amount. You are extra special, folks. Thank you very much, Merton community. We have another card, Marlene, town of Lisbon. Thank you for the 54 items you donated to the Merton Food Pantry from Community Summer Festival 2023. It'll go to the Merton families. Thank you for your hard work, Merton community. Yeah, you can pass them, yeah.
This is Darlene.
Yeah, this is from Darlene, who runs the Merton Food Pantry. Any other citizen comments? And we'll move on. Reports, Park Super.
Yeah, I've been working on setting up for a community festival, setting up the tents, putting up garbage cans, laying out vendor spots. We worked on cleaning up after community festival, to get a lot of help from the park committee members, taking down tents after the festival. That was greatly appreciated. The basketball courts, the posts have been installed, the back boards and hoops. They did install the fencing also last week, just waiting on paint would be the next step for that. I talked to John Sald about the timing of the monument installation. We did have other conversations about a concrete pad for the monument and where location where that's going to go. So that's in the works. Once the court is painted, then we will work on backfilling restoration of the area. We continue with operations, curving ball fields, cleaning bathroom, mowing, focusing on pulling weeds in all the parks right now. That's it.
Any other comments or anything? Okay, adopt the road report, Brad.
I have nothing new in my mic.
No, I'm not.
No.
Okay, subcommittee report festival. I thought all in all, the festival went quite well. We did really good with the beer sales again, $728. The crafters are $260, and we got $492 from the car show. So it was very, very good. There was a lot of people. I didn't hear anything negative. The rock wall seemed to be a really, really good draw. So all in all, everything seemed to run very good. Any suggestions or any complaints, improvements, anything else from anybody?
Yeah, Facebook had found thing that had said the community fest was much later than Dave.
Yeah.
That was the old one.
It has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
It happens whenever somebody decides they're gonna put something on the site. We don't have any control on what's on the website. I mean, on Google or on Nextdoor. They don't have,
Or something like that.
yeah.
4 to
And
9.
that's- Yeah, and that's not us. That's somebody by themselves putting something out. Inaccurate, and we can't fix that. People will do that.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah, just a quick comment, the horses were fantastic. That Brett, quickly rolling around the grounds. Basically, everyone seemed to be engaged and just enjoying themselves. Observation would be, we want to look at leaning more heavily on family or kid events. Those were the most popular. Face painting, for example, the bouncy house, the rock wall, anything that would be attracted to kids, they seem to be the ones that people were way too. Just an observation.
Yeah,
For, you know, for 2020.
Yeah, the face painter and the balloon guy. They came from 12 to 3. That's what they were paid for. And I think with them coming in later, they should have paid earlier, stayed maybe a half hour earlier and stayed a half hour later. Because at 3 o'clock they were gone. There's still a bunch of kids and stuff running around.
Well, that's just one of the things, you know, it's one of those tweaking things.
Yeah.
That we look for.
Anything else on that? Mhm. Okay, unfinished business. Discussion and necessary action on award of the John Brighton Garden Project and recommendation of the same to the town board. Everybody's got the packet. I know we talked about it last meeting and we just needed to finalize some of the figures. Anna Brighton agreed to cover the overage that we had. So all the paperwork should be in. And Johnson Nursery is just waiting for the approval and the signature from the village.
Marlene.
Hmm?
At our last committee meeting, there was some confusion about the bottom line. In other words, what the final cost would be. Is that? I apologize, I didn't get a chance to thoroughly look at this document. Is that right?
Yeah,
On the front page, everything is spelled out.
Everything is
Yeah.
spelled out, okay.
I forgot to put the money we paid her to come out and do the initial look at the project.
Okay, yeah,
Totally forgot to put that in the budget thing.
you're forgiven.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's where that. Do we have to make a recommendation again to approve this?
Yes.
Okay,
So I have a recommendation on the front page. Suggested motion, if you'd like to, somebody would like to make a motion.
Been a lot of work with this, so move that recommends the village board to award Johnson Nursery the John Brighton Garden Project in the amount not to exceed $3,417.49 to be paid using festival funds and donation from Anna Brighton.
I make a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any other comments on that? Okey doke. Onward and upward. Discussion and necessary action on the concept of hiring a design management firm to make renderings to help with the donation campaign for a new building at Lisbon Community Park.
So I wanted to discuss what you're looking for, and then we can go more so into if we wanted to look at hiring someone. Let me try to share my screen here. So I'm not sure exactly what the committee is looking at for. We were talking about a possible park building. If you notice on the screen, or in front of you, the blue area by where normally would be the ice skating rink, a large building there, or if you were looking a little farther down on the page is a small building somewhere in that area to just put a bathroom without a large building, just actual bathrooms. And so see if I can. So this is something that is a possibility. It's just it's just a bathroom, male and female bathroom. It gets rid of the pit toilets. That's a possibility. This is another view of another one that actually the high school is putting in by the tennis courts. These are drop-in buildings. They actually just drop right into place, and then you connect up the sewer and water to them, or septic and well. But this is another possibility if you want to just go with a restroom, if your main concern is to get restrooms there. Then I have a drawing. I should probably see if I can turn this. Oh, no, they want me to buy something. So this is a kind of a drawing of an outside building. See if I can get a better look at it. If you can kind of see it on the side. I'm sorry, Paula.
It's okay. I'm holding my laptop sideways, no problem.
Okay, in front of you, you have the building. This is an outside one. It's kind of a conceptual drawing. It's still would have restrooms, but it would also be a pavilion. Let's see if I can get.
And was that Kathy? I think you showed us, is that the one with the fireplace in the corner?
It does have a fireplace in the corner. In this example, it does. Doesn't say that it has to. It's just that this is an example of something. If you wanted a partially open type building, but yet a interior that would have bathrooms, some storage, that type of thing. This is another kind of concept. If you wanted something open, this is still the same concept. Sorry. This is Okachi Lions Park, and this is the concept of having garage doors. So it's kind of half and half. It's has the ability to close them down if it's bad weather. This is a very large building, much larger than I think we'd be looking for, but it does give you that example.
So would that be like a 3-season?
Well, depending, yes, but it would also depend on the weather, because you could use it all winter if it wasn't too bad. You could still use the inside for our Easter egg hunt. If our Easter egg hunt was bad, we could use it during the winter months. If our, for our ice skaters to warm up a little bit, as long, because it would be a shelter in itself. If we left a couple doors open, it still would be warmer than just a complete open air. But the idea in this case is they actually will heat this if somebody were to rent it, but having an open air, you're losing a lot of heat, so that might not be cost effective. This is another one in Germantown Fire Park, and it gets the same kind of concept. It has garage doors. It also has a closed center, so if you closed area. So if you look at it, this is the bottom picture has the is inside the building. It allows for the garage doors to go up. Let me see if I can get the next picture. So this gives you that full open air feel, but yet the garage doors gives you a real good look at what it would look like if the garage doors were up. We needed to close them for any kind of event. The bottom picture actually is another room that is completely heated. This room is not heated through the winter, but like I said, if it's nice enough out, you could still use this room. You just have to still keep your coat on. But the other area that they have is another open area behind the door, behind the doors. So I just wanted to let you know that the Germantown, the one from Germantown Fireman's Park is rented for $300 an event, or $350 if you're not.
The one with the diamonds is the German.
Yes,
Okay,
right at the top, I think it says Germantown.
And the garage doors.
Yep. So, and they have use of both the interior as well as the exterior part of things. So you can see that if we were to look at something that was a little more meaty and have a building, an actual building, we may be able to recoup some of our costs, maintenance and such like that by rentals. These are rented out for parties, weddings, all kinds of different events. But it would help us in our events that we hold in the community park if we were, so choose. That's the direction that the committee is looking at. In front of you, I'm sorry, Paula, you can't see this, but Nagawicca Park, picnic area 3 is something that Marlene brought in. It's a little picture in front of you. Everyone in black and white. And that's a pavilion, an open air pavilion with a closed area for bathrooms. So this was really to kind of start the discussion on what you were hoping to do. Are you just, was the idea to just get bathrooms at Community Park? We could probably do that a lot quicker than we could do a big building. Or do we want to hire somebody that can help us with design and actually Germantown is willing to work with us on their whole, getting us their whole design for this park, if that's something that we were interested in. So we wouldn't have a lot of design costs. But placement, having somebody write up a donation type program for us, is that something that the committee would be interested in, or would you just be interested in bathrooms? I don't know. I just wanted to open it up for some discussion.
I think
Yes.
historically, sorry, Paul. Historically, at the most basic, it's to have flush toilets
Okay.
as opposed to pit toilets. Obviously, we have a lot of material here, which we were just given. The Germantown facility, quite frankly, looks like it would just be over $1 million. I would think.
Yep.
It looks.
Yep.
And
Definitely.
everything in between. I have no idea what our budget scenarios or budget restraints are. Outside of flush toilets, question would be they be heated?
The
So that
toilets?
They get utilized.
Not normally.
So, okay.
No.
It's a basic question. Of the many open air shelters, I use the phrase open air shelters that I've seen over the last 5 years. They're poured on a slab. Obviously, then you have male, female bathrooms. So you would obviously have to have well and septic, which is of course a cost. And they have, usually it's open air, there's no doors. But it does get you out of, if there's foul weather, it gets you out of that. And then there's room to put out tables. that to me would be the most basic structure that I would feel comfortable looking at. One I really like is the one that has the huge stacked fireplace in it. I don't know, if it's a rendering. I'm an architect from a company,
Right,
so I don't know if it's in anyone. I have not seen a structure like that in any of the parks in the metro area.
they're not. So it was a rendering. It was done by DMA. That's the next page. When I spoke with, we sat down and kind of spoke with Dustin on what we were looking for, trying to keep the cost down on getting somebody in to do design of something, work with an RFP to select a construction project. So this was one of their designs that they put together for another community that went in a different direction. So they were willing to share it with us to see if that was something, kind of give us an idea of what kind of renderings they could do for us. So
In summation, for myself, at the basic flush toilets. And then moving out from there, a shelter type concept that I just described, I don't want to be redundant. Question of the site. Ice rink has been problematic for us. Plus, given changing weather patterns, it's not been realistic to utilize that much. And it looks like from the drawing we're given,
Mhm.
it would be the north side of the ice rink. So it's obviously asphalt, and I just wonder about the construction scenarios of pouring a slab or over an existing hard surface.
I don't think they would do that. I think they would break it up and
Break it up and
start over. But, and that's why I put one both ways, because whoever would do the design would find the placement, the proper placement for it. And it really depends on what kind of building that that we're looking for. If we're looking for something that is just an open air with bathrooms, just bathrooms, or a full facility.
Well, I don't want to take too much time, monopolize too much time. I would flush toilets, open air. In the best of worlds, if that's right off the ice rink, if the ice rink is going to be,
Smaller.
you know, to be smaller than moving forward. In the ideal world, it would be perfect because the skaters could skate right off the slab, or right off the picnic table and be on the ice.
I think,
My only concern would be down the road, they have to take their ice skates off. Down the road, would there be an effect on the slab, having that ice and that water up against it? We all know that concrete.
well, and it's,
long-term doesn't like that.
so
Anyway,
that would be part of the design work. Your statement on, well, the bathrooms wouldn't be open, but if it was a full building, the bathrooms would be heated then. So it's a difference between if it's gonna be a small drop-in toilets, it's not gonna be open. If we are gonna keep them open during the time that we have skaters, the hill is open. We thought, when we were talking about it, we thought even the cross-country skiers coming through would come in, warm up, or in that area. So there is a possibility of doing heat in there. If it's a separate unit of bathrooms, there would be no heat. It would just be shut down like everything else.
Kathy, do we have any estimate on what each of these, different ideas would cost? I mean,
Yeah.
without having money attached to it, I say we go for the whole thing, but I think we need to kind of.
Yeah.
bring-
Well, if we can, and right, the wonderful thing is I'm not suggesting that we get the money from the village.
Mhm.
I'm looking at the money from donations, and so we would be able to possibly do the work. Maybe not as quickly as we want, but we would work with our community and our businesses to get some donations to get this project done. I think I know that the bathrooms that sit all by themselves are about $50,000. Just the drop-in bathrooms. I know that. I think the fireman was close to 2 million but it was done a couple years back, so you know how those prices change, so. Yes, Paul.
I want to thank Ed, first of all, for the opinion that he gave. And I agree with what Ed laid out. And first and foremost, I want to address the location. Community Park is open only during the day. And they have a building in a location that nobody can see, completely hid at nighttime is a very, very dangerous thing. Because there's still a little bit of traffic in the evenings, you know, out of my front yard, my kitchen window. I can see traffic in the park and they're coming and going. You do not want to put a building where the police cannot see it, where the public cannot see it. It has to be where there's excellent visibility. And to put this building down where the ice rink is, it's not only hit, but the septic system is a real concern down there. That's low, very low. It may be very hard to work, and then you got to put a well in addition, and you got to run power down there. And given the fact that you begin to talk about a building that's going to be heated and used like the Fireman's Park in Germantown, you need a commercial kitchen in there.
No, you don't.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be
They,
a little
they-
dinky thing that you're going to put it out. Let me finish this here.
Okay.
It's gonna have to be sized to the size of the group that you think it holds. And they're gonna come in and they're gonna say, if you're gonna put a building that can host 125 people.
Mhm.
The amenities has to be in keeping with that. Now, I've had quite a bit of experience with buildings. I worked for many years for the YMCA. I was a property manager for camping services. And I worked for a number of years for the Great Blue Heron Girl Scout Council as property manager. And in both situations, we built buildings. Excuse me. The upkeep and the maintenance on these buildings will far exceed the revenue that you're gonna get.
absolutely.
Absolutely. And the staff, if you have a building like the Germantown building, you need staff at Community Park full-time to be watching the buildings and then to be adding the other stuff. So you got to increase the staff. And if you're gonna do this raising community money out here, when everybody has big homes, big lots, big homes, that heavy mortgage and they can entertain much easier out here in the village of Lisbon if they're gonna throw a party than they can in Germantown, which is apartment and condo dense. And they need space like that. And what I recommend along with Ed, if we put a building up, this is all brand new discussions from what we're getting.
Yep.
It has to be very modest. Now, here's a picture. Kind of like for one of the camp buildings. If you can envision the backup, that's just around the back side as the bathrooms and the front side as just a shelter to get out of the weather. If they have a storm, it has to be much larger, but basic design. So your bathrooms that you come in aren't these drop-ins without any heat. They have to be heated. Otherwise, you're gonna blow the plumbing every winter. You're gonna try to
Have to
blow it
drain
as
them.
clean as you can, but you're always gonna have freeze-ups in there. From experience, I say that because I took your buildings and they have to be heated year-round. And if you're gonna do community donations, you're never gonna get donations for a $2 million building from the community because they don't have the vested interest in giving that much money. You can raise a much smaller footprint that's well thought out, but it should be up where the pump house is, because you already got a well. Up where the pump house is, that's all stone. You got a wonderful perk field. You got power that comes right there. You have the same ability for in the winter time, if it's a cross-country skier, to jump in and use the bathroom if they need it. Anybody who's going to the hill, the sled, are gonna drive right by it, and so they know where it is if they have to send their children back there. And the ice skate rink is iffy in the wintertime. There's not a steady stream of people coming down to ice skate because the ice is so iffy. And the few people that come down there, and I say few really, are down there, a bunch of kids for a pickup game of hockey, or the parent who's gonna try to teach their kid how to ice skate, but it's not really ice skating like you think. Some of these parks where they really got nice ice skating rinks and warming houses. So all that being said, I want to add one last thing, and that's the community park is a nature park. And we had this idea we wanted to send back the village to keep it nature oriented. Sunrise to sunset, easy on the amenities. Flush toilets are nice in this day and age if you get children for things, because kids get scared to go in those fit toilets, and it's a trauma for parents. But you can do nice little warm bathrooms that it'll be cheaper to keep them warm. Plus, it has to have automatic locks. You gotta have a way in the evening to lock those, so you don't have to have a staff person coming back every night
Yeah.
and turn in the key. Otherwise, it's gonna be the hangout for these 15-year-old kids on their bikes and 16-year-old kids who just got their driver's license, and I'll meet you at the park.
Okay,
Thank you,
And-
Paul. I'd like, I'm sorry.
anyone else?
Yeah, I'd like to add a comment to Paul. I agree with him 100%. Every winter we've had to wrap that down under shelter in order to have a place that we could have shelter. And to put another shelter a couple feet away from that open air shelter, which would be open again, doesn't make too much sense. I have asked, I don't know how many times, can we at least get it 3 sides? Like he says, you don't want it closed in down there because of the kids. And we've had kids going down and on the, with their trucks on the ice skating rink. I'd like to see a building up on top, like where Paul said. It doesn't have to be as big as the Germantown one. But something on that area, it could still be where you can close it up. And, where you can have parties or you can rent it out, but it maybe in a smaller mode. But I'd really like to see something done with the shelter that we have in place to make it more secure. To put in a building like this one, which is absolutely beautiful, but it's open, it would be open to the north and west. It would have a huge chimney. What are you gonna burn in there? Are the kids gonna throw in, paper? Whatever in there? And is it gonna be gas? Is it gonna be,
Well,
what
we're
is it?
not saying that this was an option. We're
No,
just saying, do
I
you
know.
want open air? Do you want it closed or do you?
Well,
want
that's what I'm
toilet?
just saying. To put a building like that with big chimney on it to burn things to heat doesn't make any sense down there because it is open to the north and west. Wind goes right through. The same thing with the down under shelter. I'd like to see that enclosed, partially enclosed.
Okay, so are we,
And I'd like
okay,
and
go ahead.
the same thing too with the placement. I think the first thing everybody agrees is to replace the dump toilet up on top by the shelter with a flush toilet. That would be a wonderful upgrade to start with,
So you would like to just do the small toilets?
But not the drop-in toilet that comes as a kit like you spoke. If they're
Why
gonna
not?
Do flush toilets, they need to be a little building that can be heated.
Not if they're not open all year, right? We don't, you're looking at them staying open all year then?
No, it's almost like the picture here, Paula, or I passed around one that has a little bit of a shelter for storm shelter. That you can come out if it's a heavy rain and stand underneath it to get out of the rain. But then the little back part of the building, you have more than just those concrete cubicles they drop. You have a little bathroom that's got a nice little sink and you can turn the heat on in the winter time.
Then we'd be open during the winter, is what
Well-
you're saying.
Not the bathroom parts, that would be weather tight. A little bit of an overhang or something may be open to get out of the rain if you're there.
But we wouldn't heat that.
You wouldn't heat the outside
Okay.
part because it wouldn't be that big, it wouldn't be the type of
Wouldn't make
place where
sense.
you have a big party. It would just be a little overhang if you had people at the playground and it began to rain. And the mom says, hey, let's wait for the rain to pass. to get
Okay.
out of the weather. like
Well, let's
that."
have some other people
Colleen,
talk
do you
because
have
we only
anything?
have 25 minutes.
No? Brad,
I have,
I'm going around the table. Brad, anything?
I do like the idea of putting a actual flush bathroom building up by the shelter where the kids' toilets are. You can have, right there. I do like the plan for the Germantown. So it doesn't have to be as big as that, anywhere near that size. As for where to put it, I do like having it down below. There's many options these days for putting cameras somewhere to keep an eye on it. Wi-Fi, sure we can get that there and have cameras. It's an option. It's just. I think it's better down there, just for usefulness, especially in internet.
I like the idea of having flush toilets up near the park more. I mean, I know my kids would rather just leave parking alone than the kids using them with the toilets. So it'd be nice to have something up there, something in, something else eventually. But yeah, I would say priority is maybe getting flush toilets for those kids aren't.
Tracy?
Same thing.
Emmett?
this is directed to Mike. Mike, are we already over scheduled, and are those shelters that we currently have in great demand for 3 seasons of the year? Do we need another?
Few
something
of them are, the one here is high renter and the Hilltop are high renters
Okay.
down under,
not
I'm gonna say maybe 5 times a year.
Only
uh,
5 times a year?
Yeah, the hex shelter also same thing, but it's small, you
Yeah.
can probably get
Right.
20 people there max, comfortably.
Okay,
So those two don't get rented a whole lot, but the Hilltop and here at Stadler, every weekend, multiple times a weekend.
okay.
I mean, most of them are rented Saturday and Sunday,
Wow, okay, and that's pretty much late spring, all summer and into part of fall.
pretty steady.
Oh,
Would
okay,
it maybe be, I'm sorry, would it behoove maybe to change the toilet at the town hall to something like that? Two, and to have one up at the community park.
What do you mean?
That, you were talking about putting that toilet in upstairs, up on top at the community park.
Yeah,
Okay, and if you have such a demand here, should we concentrate on the toilets first? Because nobody comes in here to go to use the
I
bathrooms here.
guess I have a couple thoughts on that. Yeah, I'm like, in my opinion, I'm kind of, I guess, with Brad a little bit, where if we're gonna do an enclosed building, I feel down below is the best place to do it for the most usage you're gonna see. It's gonna be a year-round usage with our festivals, community festival, winter fest, the only one that would be Easter, but in inclement weather. It would be something that we could easily move it down there and do an indoor event, to keep these kids dry as they go through.
And what would be done with the shelter that's there now?
It would, in my opinion, I would. There's no sense to have 2 shelters.
No.
Like I said, it's not rented that often, most people that use it that I notice are like bikers that are running through the bug line. They stop to take a lunch or a quick break. They'll park their bikes there, but. I mean, and that's something that, with a fully enclosed shelter, you can put. Tables, benches, whatever outside of it that are permanently there and they get the same thing, if it's not gonna be fully open to the public 24/7 if it is a closed building, you know, they still have options for people to sit and get out of the sun for a little bit. But if it's an open air shelter with a bathroom, I kind of like up by the playground area. I think,
Parents use it.
yeah, the parents use that the most. But on the other hand, a lot of people that rent the hilltop shelter, that's one of the questions that is always asked, is that the one closest to the bath? There are people, because that one is ADA accessible, being a paved path up to it. A lot of people ask that, you know, are there bathrooms there? Is that the one near the bathroom? So. You know, I don't know, if you're just putting a bathroom, I guess replace the one that's there, right? Because I'm having issues finding companies to come pump that out. You know, last year I called 12 companies to find one that would pump it out because people throw, you know, their sweater down there, a full road toilet, whatever it is, they just toss it down there, plugs it up. So yeah, it's getting tough. So, I mean, I guess, yeah, if we're just doing a bathroom, my vote would be to replace the one that's there. If we're doing an open air shelter with a bathroom, I guess up by the playground and then fully enclosed, my plan would be putting it down below.
Paula?
And then, Kathy, I have one thing that has to do that too. Why couldn't we have the village fund part of it or some of this? You said you'd like all the monies to come
Yeah.
from outside sources.
Because we don't have the funds.
Well, they could be put in a budget.
I mean, is that a
Yeah,
possibility
don't-
that we could try to, I mean, if we're gonna do it, I think do it right, do it big. You know, I mean,
Especially the
but
bathrooms.
again, with 11,000 people living here. And we don't have that many businesses. Are we really able to fund this? So why couldn't the village throw a little money towards it? I'm just asking.
That's something that should be addressed.
So
Depending
the,
on what.
yeah, I guess we have to, you know, the board has to make decisions on park building, firemen. Okay,
Okay.
we just spent $500,000 a year we added to the fire budget. So they have a lot to cover other than just park buildings. So my thoughts are, most buildings that are not, or most things that are outside the need or safety. We're going to see in the future, most of that coming from donations and grants. And because with levy limits and with the increased cost of staff and police and fire costs, our village board has done a great job in keeping us solvent. But as soon as we don't have any more growth, that will shut down any kind of increase that we'll see in the future. So you'd want our focus to be on doing a donation. This is not an uncommon practice. Oconomowoc just did 3 brand new parks, all funded, all privately funded, all donations. Big parks.
Considering that, Kathy, would it behoove us to get the bathrooms done first? And I'd make this a 2-pronged thing. What we need is decent bathrooms. And do that first and then go on to a building,
It's possible. I mean, it's
Instead of
possible.
trying
That's
to
why
do
I'm talking to you to see
everything at
if you
once.
just want to do bathrooms and we can shut everything else down. My thoughts were, you know, do we want to move forward and try to get something going so we can get that donation
Well, if you get
cap
donations.
going up to do the,
Yeah.
to get that covered. So
Years and years and years, though, before you get enough money donation.
I think you're underestimating. Can we have Paula speak as well?
Yeah, sure, I can jump in. I hear what everybody's saying and I agree that bathrooms are definitely a priority. I'm in favor of a building. I come on and been on the fence whether it's gonna be, you know, a 3-season shelter or a year-round shelter. You know, then the town is also gonna have maintenance, or excuse me, the village is also gonna have maintenance on these things too. So that's another consideration that we're gonna have to, you know, think about what that's gonna look like down the road when these things do get put up. I still would really like to see what actual kind of dollars we're talking about, and I don't know how far we can go with that, Kathy, without actually making a commitment. And then I'm assuming that this company also has some ideas what the fundraising would look like and how long it would take to raise some of this money. Is that part of what they do? Is this kind of a fundraising organization as well?
They don't do the fundraising. They get it prepared to do the fundraising. I have been in contact with one of our businesses that is very willing to put up, more than $500,000. So there is a possibility that we can get something done. We've got a lot of new businesses coming in. Pepsi's coming in and they want to be part of I just sat down with them. They want to be part of our community and do something for us. And so we do have some things that we can be looking for and help from our business community. It'd be great if somebody, threw in $50, $100 here and there from our residents, but the majority of work would be done with businesses.
Yeah,
So-
and I don't need to hedge, and I know I'm hedging here, but again, I would like to really see what we're talking about actually.
Yeah, I just wanted to, before I did any kind of, any more work, I first wanted to see what the temperament was on what the committee was interested in. I'm waiting for more information from a town of Oconomowoc, Germantown on costs. I know that the architect on that project, the DMA was willing to sit down and work with us. Dustin from Design Management, he sat down with us for free for a couple sessions to see what maybe we would be able to do.
And maybe Kathy, with that information too, maybe some time frame issues, because I know some of the park members had had some concerns about this taking a long time. I think, maybe we can look at some time frame issues too. And I don't feel like we have enough information to really.
Right. This was just to get the discussion starting. You didn't have the information in front of you, so you'd have a real good educated statement when you came in here. This was really I wanted to just spark discussion between the committee. It was not to be, there was it was just for, it was still written as necessary action, but it was mostly for just discussion. And so we can bring it back another meeting. We're going to be talking about budget next month. And when we talk about budget, we need to know if we're going to hire a firm. I know the firm that did Germantown, that was a $18,000 cost. The firm that we had in said he would do it for about 15, could shear it down to about 5,000, but wouldn't get as much work done. So we'd have to do an RFP for it. But if we want to put something like that in the budget to start a design, we'd need to do that in the budget.
Can we use a design like the Germantown one? Do we have to hire somebody? I mean,
Well, I think the idea is to, and we can go through this, we're at about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I know we want the Sauls to speak
Can-
and work on their project, but I just wanted to start the discussion. We can go farther with it at another meeting.
At the next meeting. we can
If
put it on.
we can move forward on the agenda, that'd be great.
I think
Thank you, everyone.
It's great food for thought, honestly, because there's, just now we have an idea of what's out there. So thanks, Kathy, for putting that together.
No problem.
Okay, new business. Before I do that, let's make sure that we put that on the next meeting under the new business, or not unfinished business, I'm sorry. So that we can talk about,
It'll be on with the budget.
okay, new business. Discussion of August, September Lisbon Oaks basketball court opening celebration, and we have guests here. Hi.
So we first should probably discuss with Mike on when our vendor is expecting to complete their portion of the project, and when DPW can get the grass growing, the striping in the park, in the parking lot and such.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, that, you know, paved, hoops are installed, the fencing was just installed. I know John and I have been in contact with the monument that's going in. So right now, I'm just waiting on the painting. I haven't heard from Rod. I was on vacation last week. I mean, he never reached out about, painting time. He said he was hoping to start the week of the 4th, yeah, they haven't started yet, so, I could reach out to him tomorrow. But he was hoping to have it all done by the end of July. And then once, like I said, they're done, that's when we can start bringing the fill in and getting the soil down and then start seeding and getting it watered, and then it's basically just
So-
open the grass.
So do you think that August is possible? I put on here possible August, September timeline. I know we don't want to get into fall too much because, you know, we want to open it. We want people to have time to play on it. And if you remember, we did the Stone family and it was so cold when we opened that up. And the complaints on the website were, why did you do this at the end of the season? We don't even get to play on it. It's too cold. So we want to get our people that have been waiting for this basketball court open as soon as possible, but if you can give us more information on your portion.
First of all, thank you to everyone. We're excited. It's, you know, it starts with an idea and you guys have really been helpful in making the idea come to reality, and everything that happens, you know, from the time they start with the soil to putting some fill in, and we realize, okay, it's gotta have a little more fill. And then they put the asphalt down, like, can you kind of look at it sometimes and go, thought it'd be a little bigger, or maybe I thought it'd be a little smaller, and then they, you know, they put the hoops up and you're like, wow, that really looks nice. And then the fence goes up and you're like, it's bigger than I thought it was gonna be. You know, so it's been very exciting, and I don't want to speak for Sue and Sam, but I'll just speak for myself, I guess. So, you know, thank you to all for where we are right now. I was telling Sam we were out riding around today, and I said I drove by the park last night. Of course, we always do on our way home. There was a boy with his bike, and he had a basketball, and he was dribbling around in the parking lot. And I thought, okay, this guy's getting ready to you know, to play some basketball, which we're excited about too. So, you know, Mike and I have talked, and it's been, you know, we're a little bit, we understand, you know, subject to people's work schedules in terms of when they can get it scheduled. And then two, and thank God we got some rain today, but it also, you can't paint in the rain and all of that. So, you know, we were kind of looking at it the same way. I think you guys were mentioning that a lot of people have plans for Labor Day. So, you know, I would say we don't want to do it then, but maybe the weekend before, the weekend after, depending on how things are progressing in terms of finishing it. And I would agree, and it's fun to get it open and get it used and all that. I think there has been some excitement building, and we were down there all the time watching what they're doing. We're walking by. It's been fun. So thank you for that. I know, you know, we appreciate the idea that you all were supportive of having some sort of grand opening, or what we might call a dedication. And we are too. We would really look forward to that. I don't know what, you know, I can't think part that we were thinking about talking about, what would that look like? And I had a few ideas. And you know, do we want to go into that tonight, or do we want to?
Sure, we've got some time.
I mean, it probably will be a little bit of a work in progress, but we have a priest that would like to come and give it a blessing, and so we'd like that to be part of it. Father Nick, he was at St. Charles, but he's up in Grafton now. It's become a friend of ours, and we were thinking maybe something that's kind of festive with maybe some music, maybe a PA, some sort of system available.
John, would this be on a Saturday
Yeah, I was thinking that.
afternoon or?
Yeah, I mean, could be mid-morning. I mean, I think that's totally flexible. It's light still, well into the evening, but why wait too long into the day, but you don't need to make it first thing in the morning kind of thing. A couple other things that we were thinking of is. We had obviously kind of formed a relationship with what was the former Arrowhead coach, Coach Whitty. And we were thinking maybe we contact the current Arrowhead coach and like see if the team, if some of the girls wanted to come over. We're obviously gonna let Mr. Whitty know that, well, you know, when this is gonna be, invite him to come and if, you know, it's a friendly atmosphere. If some of the wanna go girls wanted to come up, that'd be fine too. Maybe we'd have a little scrimmage. Don't mean to hold anybody off the court, but I thought it would be kind of fun. And so those are a few ideas I guess I did. I don't know if you had anything more to.
I just want to say thank you for all of you that have helped us make this possible, because like John said, we go past that park every morning when we leave to go someplace. We go past it every time we go home. And it's just been very moving to see this coming to life. And we look forward to it being there in the community using it. And we wanted to say thank you. Like everybody that we have talked to that has been there working on this has been wonderful. They have been just supportive, excited, they've worked hard. They're just, you know, it's just the gentleman who put the fencing in. I talked to him both days. I just stopped because he was the nicest, kindest man. And he was, Cody, I think his name was. And it was neat because to him, he was doing his job. But when he found out the story behind it, he was like, he was thanking me for being able to be a part of it. And it was just, all the workers have been just wonderful. I wanted to let's make sure you do that. My goal for the dedication or the opening, my main focus is to thank everyone. Because if it wasn't for our community, if it wasn't for our family, if it wasn't for our friends, and everyone's help, this wouldn't be happening. And I understand that it's a great addition to our community and it's part of this, but there's been a lot of people that we need to thank. And I'm looking forward to when we do figure out the timeline, I'm going to be communicating that to a lot of people that have been asking me about it, have been very supportive of our place. So that's kind of my main focus, and I'm willing to help in any way to make that day special. If there's anything that Lisbon wants us to, we're more than willing to help out with that.
Maybe passing an invitation on to the workers to come.
Yes, definitely.
When is your, when is the memorial?
I spoke to them back in June. And first part of June, and the actual monument stone was had just been delivered to their facility. And then it had to go through the engraving process. And the main thing that I've been waiting to hear back from them on is their schedule. Because they had to schedule it out 6 to 8 weeks, because the gentleman that actually does the installation, he has like a schedule that they have to fit it into. He just doesn't.
Stop what he's doing and do that one thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's what I've been trying to get a date from him on when that could be, and then we were working with the concrete company.
Yeah, Lake Country Concrete, Tom Oliver.
Yeah.
He's gonna, you know, he and I went over there and Mike has been great with this whole process as well. We kind of said, so we're thinking, but you know, you're the concrete guy. And so he's gonna, I just was communicating with him this last week and he said, we'll be there within 7 to 10 days. So,
Okay, good.
So we haven't quite figured it out, but it's, we know, you know, as we've discussed in the past, it'll be centered on the outside of the fence by the post, the backboard post or whatever. That's on the parking lot and with the court. And so does that give you guys a good visualization of it?
Yes. So no concerns about a car hitting it? Because it's
No.
pretty close to the parking lot?
No, I don't think so. It's
Okay.
gonna be, because of the way the grading ended up, it's gonna be a little higher up, than the parking lot.
Okay.
Say maybe like this. And Tom's kind of said, yeah, let's make something nice here. Or maybe even someday you could put a bench on it, so, you know, there's a minimum requirements by the concrete company, this deep, this wide. To hold the stone, but then there's everything else is whatever. So we're envisioning some stamped concrete. That'll be, you know, beyond the stone setting itself. And
Okay.
something that'll match, you know, with what's everything else that's in the park. The stone's gonna be, and we kind of gave you guys a rendering of it, but it's a triangular base, where they'll have the gravy on 3 sides, then we'll have a basketball on top. The base is black, the basketball is orange granite, and it'll be carved like a basketball at number 4, which was always on this number. And so that's, it looks like to me, it looks like it'll be a perfect, you know, addition to the entrance of the park.
And the parking lot right now has the cement.
Yeah.
Stoppers.
Yeah,
So
so.
I'm assuming it's gonna continue to stay
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Right.
Back in trucks and podcasts.
All right.
Yeah.
That would help.
Okay, so I think we'll work with you a little bit more on what would put together something for the event and
Yeah.
kind of sit down and,
We can zero in on a date. I didn't know, if, you know, I think probably next week we know more.
Okay.
About, we can get an update on Munson. And see what they're thinking in terms of, I've never done this before, so I don't know, lines and all that, how long it takes and how much. But it seems like once they get on, it happens pretty quick,
yeah,
so.
okay. Food and music, we're looking at. Food and music,
Yeah, I mean, so it had been mentioned that maybe invite some.
food trucks.
vendors,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
I think that would be good.
We did that at the Stone Family event, had some vendors,
Yeah,
so we could do something like that again.
I would envision, you know, barring a rain out, that it would be pretty well attended.
My only suggestion, you know, we are gonna go the avenue of trucks and beer, whatever we're gonna have. Possibly look during the week, like a Friday night maybe, because it's easier to schedule them because they're out selling vendors, you know, at their
That might be better.
gas station or wherever they set up on a Saturday, it's a little tougher to
Do a Saturday.
get out, so I would probably like Stone Family, we did a Thursday night event.
Okay.
But I would probably, my suggestion would be a Friday night.
Okay.
If we're gonna have drugs.
Well, let's,
Okay.
we can check into that and see what might make most sense.
Yeah. Okay,
You could maybe check with the Lions. They're always looking for people. They came to the festival and did our food
Oh, yeah.
and.
for what?
The Optimist Club, so. Yeah,
Well-
the Optimist Club.
I think we'd probably look at food trucks more so than bringing in a club to start selling
Because
something,
I have-
because,
There's no electric, no water at that park, so
Oh,
you need
that's-
somebody that's pretty self-contained. and-
Yeah.
Oh, good.
kind of like Stone Family.
Yeah.
All right, well, we appreciate you coming in,
Yeah, well,
And
thank you for inviting us.
doing the
Thank you for
donations,
support.
putting it in the park.
It's been very exciting. I don't know if you've all been over there to see it yet, but it's.
Yeah.
Rising up. And it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Thanks again. Eva.
Thank you for coming.
John, I have a question. How old would Emily be now?
So we actually, part of the community and, you know, things we've always talked about, but it's very true. You know, Arrowhead actually reached out to us and we graduated this last June. And we went to graduation because so many of our friends were there and they gave us a search sheet. It was very kind of them to do. So Emily would have graduated high school this year. And, so she would be 18. And
Yeah.
Well, it's a wonderful tribute that you're doing. I mean, it's just an outpouring of love. And like you said, others, friends and family, community, you're feeling enveloped by that. So it's a
And I really
great
think,
tribute to her.
thank you very much.
Very nice.
I really feel like it's gonna be well utilized by the community too. I think there seems to be this little air of the excitement in that area that they would have the best quality.
Yeah.
So,
First one in the village.
Going back to what you had said before, calls in the basketball the other day, I was in there, and there was another little boy with his dad, and they were kind of, pointing it out, and here where, so it's cool to see the excitement, you can definitely tell it's there.
yeah, yeah, I had a friend of mine send me a picture. He was in the store and he had a rack of balls, basketballs. He said, "So which ball should I get to pick your ball with?" And I said, "The one that'll make you 2 feet taller."
Very good.
So, anyway, thanks.
Thank you.
again.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for coming. Gonna move on because we're running out of time. Other items for future agenda?
I think I'd like to keep next agenda very slim with budget. Because we're gonna need all the time to start the discussion on the events budget.
Okay. The only thing is, Mike, will you be able to have some time? So we can do that smothering project?
Yep, so baseball ends not this next week, but the following week.
Okay,
So soon, and it's a light schedule that last week, so that's my plan is would be the last full week of July. To get that done, and it should be done. 2 days, I should go get it all done.
okay, if we were, the park committee's more than willing to help come and put cardboard, so
Okay,
please give me a call.
Yeah, I'll be in touch with you for
Okay.
dates when we're gonna start. I believe I have enough
Cardboard now,
cardboard. And my thought was I would just save that center section where the tree is, if we don't have enough. Because that's easy enough to get a couple more pieces and do that, but I believe I had.
okay, awesome.
20.
If there's no other discussion, I'm gonna call for an adjournment. It is 6:07. Do we have a?
Was
Tracy,
it?
motion, a
Tracy?
second? Colleen, all in favor? Aye.
Thanks, Paula.
Okay, yep, see ya.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.